Greetings, Health Department family. My name is Noah Pinnock, and I am honored as well as humbled to have the opportunity to come to you today to talk about some very important things that really impact our organization. Stephen Williams, our director, is very concerned about all of the things that are essential for employees. Those things that are essential for them to be successful in the roles that they play and the people and the lives that we impact. A little over 2 months ago, we did a SWOT analysis, and many of you guys participated in that, where we identified strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Those things that are critical to the overall success of our organization, as well as our reach into the community that we serve. Certainly, we know that we are all not sitting pretty, that everything that we consider to be essential or necessary are provided to us, but we do know one thing, that we want to make certain that we give everybody an opportunity to make our department better. Better for you, better for the people we serve, and ultimately better for our organization as a whole. So let us examine the anatomy of a SWOT. The S for SWOT stands for strengths. These are the things that our organization does well and does well most of the time. Programs and services like Seed to Succeed, Project Saving Smiles, or AIM, Assessment, Intervention, and Mobilization, where we're out in the community touching people at their doors and in their face. These are the things that we have all carried very well in our organization and know that our organization is doing a wonderful job at providing these services. O stands for opportunities. We understand that opportunities exist so that we can expand our footprint, our market value, and in the communities that we serve. We know through the expansion of partnerships, we can have collaboratives like My Brother's Keeper or Enroll Gulf Coast America to really expand the opportunities that we have to increase and improve and enhance the lives of our community members, from the eldest to the smallest or the youngest. We know that with increased opportunities, we can enhance our bottom line. T. The T is for threats. We understand that threats are what make our organization vulnerable. In 2011, we faced a major threat in this department. But under the direct leadership of Stephen Williams, our director, we were able to rebound. In fact, we're much better today than we were then. Threats are external and internal. Let's look at external funding. We all know that we're always facing a funding crisis. Funding through budget cuts and/or grants not being able to be renewed. We have to deal with those threats. They're internal threats that impact us quite deeply, and certainly we have to address them too. Threats are going to be in our organization, and the way we can respond to them is to prepare for them. W, almost the last letter in the alphabet. We spell W in the SWOT analysis W-E-A-K-N-E-S-S. Weaknesses. We know that we got a lot of them. In fact, it's imperative that if we don't address our weaknesses, no matter how strong we are, no matter how many opportunities we have, no matter how we address our threats, our organization will be in peril. We've identified this through hearing your voice. Weaknesses like poor communication, favoritism, lack of employee growth and development and promotional opportunities. Weaknesses that have impacted our morale and ultimately this organization's ability to serve the 2.2 million residents in the city of Houston. Our director is more than concerned about these weaknesses. He is strategic as well as poised to do something about it. And in this discussion, we will address how, as a department, we will move together collectively and holistically, not only to celebrate the strengths, our opportunities, address the threats that are imposed upon our department, but also how we can address our weaknesses. And now, what is our response as a department? What has our director charged his executive line, his managers and supervisors with? Well, he has charged us with a way or methodology for us to make it better. Because the weaknesses will erode our organization. And as I said before, erosion doesn't occur overnight, it occurs over time. And what we want to do in this department is to ensure that we increase morale, provide greater opportunities for employees to be successful. So we did some research, and the research came back from John Schaefer, who looked at how can an organization improve its morale? Well, the first thing John says is that we must form relationships through trust. Relationships are everything in an organization. If you don't know about the person that you're working alongside with every day, 9 out of 10 times, you're going to have a robotic relationship where there's always the inputs and the outputs, but there's really no sharing and caring. Trust is the bedrock of a relationship, and oftentimes people think that trust is something that you have to earn. But I give you this quick test. You're sitting in the chair that you did not check the bolts on. That's because you trusted that the manufacturer screwed them all together correctly. Let me tell you guys, in a relationship, there's always give and take. And what we need to do as a department and as individuals is to ensure and embrace the power that relationships with trust have on everything that we do. Hey, you may come to work and say, I don't like my employee, my coworker, my supervisor. It doesn't stop you from having a relationship with him or her. It's imperative that we form relationships that stick. Caring is the precursor to that. And if we do this collectively, then our organization can be far greater than it's ever been before in the past. Number two, John Schaefer says, show respect. It's critical for our organization and its employees to have mutual respect for one another. There's a famous song everybody knows, R-E-S-P-E-C-T, learn what it means to me. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to the culture of our organization? Well, let me tell you what it really means. It means that, guess what? I'm gonna respect you no matter who you are, what title you have, what degree punchlines you have behind your name. It's imperative that we respect each other and enjoy the fact that everybody has something to contribute. Whether you are a client service access individual or you are assistant director, we're here in this battle to promote and protect the health and social well-being of Houstonians together. And if we can't respect each other, how can we expect our customers to respect us, our clients to respect us? Number 3, John says we have to nurture creativity. Wow, that's big. Because creativity means that you think out of the box. Sometimes it means it's thinking out of the supervisor's head. It may also mean that we go out there and we try something that has never been done before, but we fail. Well, let me tell you guys, failure is never fatal, but failing to change is. If an employee is gung-ho about an idea and is looking to do something different that has never been done before, let him. Give them the resources. Director Williams will tell you, don't put the rocks in our employees' pockets. Don't weigh them down. Give them the resources. Give them the opportunities to go out there and do something that's creative. And be there alongside with them. And so that if they fail, you're there with them. And if they succeed, then you're there celebrating as well. Nurture creativity, or nurturing creativity, is paramount to a growing organization. Number 4, John says we have to build effective teams. And I think the key word in that phrase is effective. Effective is doing what is right. And if teams are doing what is right and they're working together collaboratively across divisions, across units, and across programs, then we'll have a big effective team that will amount to smaller effective teams that are grouped together in our organization that is really making a difference and moving the needle and changing the lives of millions of residents in the city of Houston. And lastly, it's making it real. I cannot live in a fantasy. You cannot live in a fantasy either. We live in a real world that has real problems with real people. And it's important and incumbent upon us all to make it real, so that we can embrace what's in our organization, what's real and tangible and concrete and determined and deliberate, so that we can accomplish our mission. and obtain not only the satisfaction of going home and saying that we've touched lives, but really coming back and doing it all over again. Not in a mundane, kind of robotic fashion, but in a way that we come to work and we feel excited about what we're doing. We're enjoying what we're doing because it's real. And it's real to you, and it's real to everyone around you. The city is looking towards the health department, not only to provide our services in multi-service centers, but also to respond to emergencies. Emergencies that we know have impacted either property or person. Making it real lets everyone know that no matter where they are in the organization, what they do matters. We are here in this organization ultimately by mission to protect and promote the health and social well-beings of all Houstonians. I know that that's a lot of information to intake. And this presentation is not designed to kind of give you an information overload. It's designed so that we can be brutally honest about the issues that are perplexing our organization and position us in a way that we can address them. I can tell you this right now. Dysfunction is the cancer to most organizations. Dysfunctions like the lack of trust, the lack of commitment or the fear of conflict, the avoidance of accountability, and the inattention to results. Patrick Lencioni capitalized on this in a very recent book called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, where he outlined all of those dysfunctions and basically told us that if we don't do anything to address dysfunction, then the lowest level performer begins to set the standard. Our director is clear. He's confident. He's directed to move us in a direction that will allow us opportunities to be successful. We must overcome the challenges that have impacted the morale that many have called out in the SWAT team and sometimes in the confidence of a friend, well, or in the arms of a relative. We know that these things are real. We want to make certain that not only do we safeguard what we do in this organization, but ensure that every employee, every manager, every supervisor understand what it takes for us to ultimately be successful. And I can say this, and I say this proudly, that accomplishing anything requires determined, deliberate, definable actions with a clear goal in mind. The future of our department rests in your hands, in my hands, and together we can make it a wonderful place to work.